Welcome back to another episode. So, we finally got the parts that we need for the Kubota. Hopefully, in this later on in the video, we can get thrown together, maybe even get it running. So, the parts that we needed were the intake valves, or intake exhaust valves for the head. Now, it is a D722 head off of the 722 that's back there or taken apart. And I was already out here messing with the valves, and we got a slight issue. The new valves are longer than the old ones. So, that ain't good. Let me just show you how much longer they are. So right here's the valves. Well, the valve. A valve. And I didn't do anything with them yet. Other than I installed one. Old one and a new one in the valve in the head. And they're definitely not going to work the way they are. So, this is the old one. The reason I had to get new ones is because these are all bent. And when you look at them, you can see that this one right here is taller than that one. Move them together. That ain't good. You can kind of see right there is definitely taller. So, I'm gonna have my dad look at it, see what he thinks. Maybe, possibly, we can throw it in the lathe and take the top of this here off, like right there, and just cut a ridge there where it needs to be. But I'm gonna let my dad look at it and see what he thinks. It's not what you should do, but might be what we end up doing, because they ain't gonna work too great the way they are. I don't know if the rack will adjust to accept that length. Like, I don't know if the tappets will adjust enough. If they did, maybe we could figure something out. But right now, the spring compresses way too easy. I can push it in with my finger. I mean, I put the old one in, I can do it with my finger on that one too, but it ain't good. So, like I said, I'm gonna have my dad look at it, see what he thinks. If he thinks we can throw it in the lathe behind us here and, customize it, maybe that's what we'll end up doing. I gotta wait for my dad to get home, and we'll update you on what we decide. Alright, we're back. It is currently the next day. It's dumping rain out there. So, I think we decided we're gonna use these valves the way they are. We sat the rockers on, and the rocker is actually sitting level. So, I mean, what we were worried about is it on that too much of an angle like that or something. But it's more of an angle with the original, or the other valve that was in it. The old valves, it was on more of an angle with that one than it is with the new one. So we're thinking it'll adjust to where we need it. But with the spring tension here, see, that push is really easy compared to that one. So what we're thinking is, see how there's a lip in there? Thinking getting a washer that it'll fit around the seal, and we'll get all 4 or all 6 washers, as long as they're same diameter in there. I'll throw them on the lathe on a bolt with a nut so they won't spin. I'll turn the lathe on and I'll machine them down to where they'll fit inside here. That way there's a little more spring tension, because we don't like how easy that pushes. But we gotta be sure that it's not gonna come level with this. We want it to sit down in there, because if it sits on top of here, then the spring can it'll probably bind up, and yeah, we'll have broken parts. So get a washer, it'll fit down in there, but it'll also put some more spring tension on. Hopefully that works, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna probably work that now, get those turned down to where it needs to be, and then we'll come back, lap them in, and take the head back and throw it on. Alright, we are chucked up in the lathe here. Guys, I don't recommend doing this, but we're gonna see what happens. I'm just doing one to see if it'll work. If it does, then we'll chuck them all and do them all at once. So yeah, so what we gotta do is get it turned down that it fits in here, in this groove here. If we can get that chucks down in the, or if it fits down in the groove there, it fits pretty good around the seal. So we just gotta turn the diameter of the washer down that it fits inside there, and we should be good to go. Alright, so that went as planned. They're all fitting in there good. They're close to the top, but I already put a spring on it. It don't even try getting out over, so we're good. That made a difference, because I already had this one installed, and it was perfect. Well, better than what it was anyhow. It was close to the same amount as this of pressure that this one has. So I think that'll work. They're definitely not perfectly round, you can see that. But I just had them on that there bolt right there. All thread bolt. And this is a smaller nut. This one's a bigger nut. I put this one on top of that one. Took this one down, made it tight, and took this one down, made it tight, and then chucked this one in the lathe over there. So I think that'll work right there. Again, this is not recommended, but we're dealing with what we got. They say it's for 722, so I mean everything else with the valves fit just like the old ones. We got new guides here, not going to use them. The seals came in this kit, so we'll use them, but we're not going to use the guides because put the new valves in the new guides, and they have the same amount of play as they do with the old ones. So we'll keep them, but we're gonna just run the guides that we have because there's nothing wrong with them. So yeah. So now it's time to, well, I gotta get all the washers out of there and run the file on them, get all the burrs off because we don't want that to get in the engine. And then we'll go ahead and start lapping them. Alright, so you can see we got all the valves in. I tapped them with the ball peen hammer, so we're good there. So far, so good. I'm gonna have to get some glow plugs because they're swelling. That probably happened when we were trying to start this engine. We were using them a lot. But one problem that we ran into is, well, you can probably see it. Something ain't right. They sent one Chinese valve. So if something happens, if something fails, we know which one did it. It's that one right there. All these, they all have USA printed on them, so they might be good, somewhat good valves. So, we'll see what happens. I cleaned all the gasket, whoa, I'm falling over. Cleaned all the head gasket material off, and now I'm just going to take it over with all the parts in the box there. Take it over and work at putting it on the engine. Alright, we're over here with the engine. Got everything cleaned up. Still some dirt in there. Fuzzies from the rag. But all the lifters are cleaned out. I'm just going to take some lacquer thinner, paint thinner, and clean all the oil debris off. And this is my kit. This is one thing I found. Actual Kubota product. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the one that we fixed for now until it don't. So, get this up, tripod, and get this cleaned off. Alright, so, got that oil cleaned off there. Preserved this engine because I was keeping the oil in the cylinders so it didn't get flash rust. It worked. It turns over super smooth. See if the head gasket fits. I don't see why it wouldn't. It's a head gasket. Get some of the water off of it. And then my truck got flooded. Alright, we had to do a little customization. It was hitting there. Right there. If it focuses. There. It was hitting, so we modified it so it stops hitting. Now the head sits down the way it should. And looks good. Over here is missing. So far so good. Now, after we did that, now I gotta get the torque sequence and go ahead and start torquing them down. I can't find the sequence that I need, so I'm just gonna start middle and work my way out. So, apparently the torque spec is 30 to 32 foot-pounds. So we'll turn up to 32. Huh. That never happened before. Wrong size socket. I'll just take them all down evenly. Here's a little trick. to turn in some studs. Take 2 washers, or 2 nuts, put one on, and put another one on top of it, hold the bottom one. Jesus, here, adjustable is big enough. You hold the bottom one to keep it from moving, and turn the top one down on top of it. And we can turn it in, make it tight. Basically, lock it with another nut. Hopefully it didn't break. Okay, we're good. Alright, got the valve train all put on. They're all lashed, which is good. We're setting it right in between. 6 thousandths. 5 is minimum, so that should be good. So I guess now we'll throw the injectors in. Well, I gotta tighten these down, then we'll throw the injectors on, and then we move it over to there somewhere, have to clean spot, and see if she'll fire off. Let's see if the starter works.
Well, that don't sound good, does it?
No. Alright. Got different wire system going here. Let's see what happens now.
That's gooder.
Yeah. It sounds pretty good too. Alright, let's turn it over to get oil up to the valve train. I should be getting up there close. I'm gonna get the fuel hooked up, and then we'll work at getting it primed. And the exciting part, will she fire? Alright, got fuel in the system. Lines are cracked, and injector lines are cracked. Time to see if it'll pump fuel. Hopefully it does. Clicky clock is hooked up. Get our key here. And here we go. Come on.
Gonna have to throttle. Do you have it tied open?
Oh. Getting some fuel. Yeah, I'm just getting fuel.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're using a heat gun in the intake. See if that works. Let me turn the clicky clack on.
This top one is your shut off. When you pull it, it stops smoking.
So at least that's working. That's definitely diesel smoke. We just gotta get some heat. Yeah, oil's starting to run off of there. Off of the.
Down over the side.
No, but it's running down in the back in the engine.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Think crack them again. I don't want to burn the starter up. It's starting to smoke more. Kind of sound like it tried. Oh, it's trying. Oh, there we go. Come on. Man, it really wants to go, don't it? Ready?
Yeah.
Alright. Different fuel system hooked up. Try this. Don't put too much in. should go off again. Hey, throttle. Alright guys, it's the next day. We're on our way out here to the shop. We're gonna see if we can get a cold start on the Kubota. See if we can get it running. Didn't do anything last night to it other than, well, got it running. We shut it off, left it sit overnight. We're gonna fire it back up today and get it hot, retorque the head, and relash the valves, and then should be good to go. So, here we go. That one smoked up in here. I think it'll fire. Alright, head's torqued down again. We got the valves lashed. Some of them were tight. Some of them were 180 out. I did cylinder number 3, that was 180 out. So, we fixed that. And now it should be good. So, let's see if she'll fire back up. Should fire right back up, no problem now. Alright, so it should go. I think it will. Sounds a little better. Alright, we got the valve cover thrown on it. Oh, Everything is shaking. The camera makes it look like it's somewhat sitting still. Has glow by, but not much. Not very much glow by. I'll give it that. Well, maybe. Not terrible though. Idling better.